Hi, welcome to STEM with Mrs. Sawyer. STEM with Mrs. Sawyer is a video collection of STEM challenges that you can complete at home with your family using the resources and materials that you already have. Each month, I will release a new challenge for you to do at home, and I will send it out in a newsletter that will also have some additional links for any other scientific vocabulary or ideas that you might want to research more before completing the challenge. All of the videos and newsletters are also available on my website and can be done in any order that you would like and can be repeated as often as you would like to do them as well. The challenge for this month is to design and create your own maze. So a maze is a path or a collection of paths to get from an entrance to an end goal. You may have used them in school on pencil and paper for different activities where you have to start at one area and then the goal is to get to wherever the finish is. And then as you're traveling through the path, you may come to a dead end where that path doesn't go all the way through, so you have to retrace your steps and try it again. Mazes have also been used throughout history. Ancient Egyptians used mazes in order to keep people from being able to get to a certain area, right? They wanted to create a maze that might keep you from getting to the treasure in a pyramid or from being able to get to where they had buried a pharaoh, something like that. Mazes have also been used in Greek mythology. So I'll put some links in the newsletter in order for you to do a little bit of research on mazes if you'd like to learn more about their history. But you are all familiar with them in one way or another through things that you've done in school or maybe in an activity book that you've used at home. Begin the engineering and design process for your maze by asking yourself what problem you want to solve. Do you want your maze to be for recreational purposes? Like you may have seen a corn maze where you can travel in the fall and go through the corn maze that's in a cornfield that they've cut through, and your goal is to get to the other side, to get out on the other end. Or you may want your maze to solve a problem such as the ancient Egyptians did, where they didn't want people to be able to get to certain areas. Or think about the way mazes were used in Greek mythology. And again, I'll have those links for you in the newsletter. So start by empathizing with the people that you want your maze to serve. And think about their needs and how you would solve the problem that they would need to do. Again, recreation or fun, or is it going to serve another purpose? Now you're going to enter the imagine phase. This is where we ideate and brainstorm all of the possible solutions that we can think of for our maze. You're going to really spend a lot of time using paper and pencil in order to plan out what your maze will look like. That's especially important for this design challenge because your final product, your prototype, may be a paper pencil maze that you create. So really think through that process. Go back to what you decided your problem was that you wanted to solve and empathize with the needs of the people who would use your maze. And then use that to brainstorm all of the solutions you can think of on paper. Begin the next phase by making a plan. Decide on what your best maze idea was that you came up with, and now you want to take that to the next step and you want to actually plan it out in more detail and decide how you can make it as successful as possible. And again, that might be for this challenge on paper pencil. You may not be creating a physical maze, but you might. That's up to you to decide. So you want to take it through the planning process and really come up with a strong, detailed design for what your prototype will look like. Now you're going to take your maze into the create phase. This is where you're going to build, test, and refine your design for your maze. So again, that may be a prototype that's on paper pencil. That may be a prototype that is got a very strong paper pencil design and very detailed, but then you are also going to try to create that with something that you have at home, right? Boxes, building blocks, chairs, all kinds of things can be used to create your maze and test out what it would be like if someone were to actually travel through it. So again, take yourself through that process of building a prototype of some kind. That may be a paper pencil prototype for this challenge. And then you want to test it, right? Maybe you're going to give that piece of paper to someone and have them try to solve the maze. Or if you've built a maze for real, you're going to ask someone to try to go through that maze and solve it. Maybe it's a maze that you've created with some building blocks. So you might have a toy car maybe that you take through that maze and see if you can get through to the other side and sort of test out all the things that might happen. Do any refining that you need to and get ready for the next phase. Now I want you to iterate, right? I want you to take yourself through the process, right? Think about that circle that we've talked about. I want you to take yourself through the process multiple times, going back and rebuilding, retesting, and redesigning anything that you need to in order to create a more successful maze. Sometimes when you take it through the testing process, you may also see something that you would like to change That may cause you to create a new maze altogether. That is up to you. You may just make changes to it, or you might redesign an entirely new maze based on your testing process. And don't forget, it's important to always take it further. Challenge yourself to take your maze design to the next level. What could you do to make your design more successful? Maybe you only went through the process in the beginning, paper, pencil, and now you've decided that you want to take it further by actually trying to create a physical maze that matches your paper pencil design. Anything you can do that you can change or add to in order to make your maze go to the next level and be more successful than it was in your initial testing process. When creating your maze, you may have really involved other people in the engineering and design process with you, more so for this challenge than some other ones. But even so, I still want you to share your design with others. Maybe go back and share it with the person who tested your prototype for you. Maybe go back and share it with someone who worked with you on the planning process. Or it might be someone completely new. But it is important to share our thoughts and ideas with other people in order to really get the most out of this engineering and design process that we can and help our brains to grow. Thank you again for joining me with STEM with Mrs. Sawyer. As a reminder, send me any pictures and video that you have of the challenges that you create at home, and that all challenges and newsletters are always available on our website, so you can go back to them at any time you'd like. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.